What's up, guys? Welcome to an Ace for Waves episode. As always, with me, Annabelle. We're gonna do something a little bit different today. I know it's been a while since I've done an episode or just a segment in general. I've been busy with school. It's about that time of year where we're nearing the end of finals, not the end of finals, but we're nearing towards the end of the school year. We have like a little over a month left. So school's stuff is getting a little bit busier. I have work on top of that. I have like other stuff going on within school. So I've been putting a lot of my time and focus into that recently. I have to tell myself always that school comes first and then work, my job, and then any other extracurricular slash side projects. So hopefully with when the next month and a half is over, I'm done with my semester and my year, have a little bit more time, but I can't promise that summer's not going to be a little bit more flexible because again, I'll still be doing jobs. I'll still be doing summer classes probably. So I have a feeling I'm in for a very busy summer. But with all that being said, I'm still gonna find time to do these episodes, do these segments, even if I have to push back filming and producing for a little while. But I love doing this. I love sharing stuff with y'all. I love talking about sports. Sports is honestly something that I have learned more and more throughout the years. And now I feel like I'm at a place where I can talk about a variety of sports and I know enough to make it sound like I'm actually doing my research. I'm not just spewing out random bull stuff to you guys. But I wanted this to be a little bit more chill today. I wanted to feel like, we're at home and we just give off cozy vibes, if that makes sense. And it's like 5:58 a.m. at the moment right now. I'm doing this really early. I have no idea when I'm going to publish this video. I'm doing it on Spotify right now, live. So that will be uploaded right away. I might wait to put out this video in a day, maybe a few hours after I'm done recording to look through it. I'm not sure yet, but it is early Sunday morning. I was going to do an episode last week, but I just got busy and then I forgot. I am planning to do a main episode this week, episode 8. I still have yet to record episode 6 and upload that. So I'm hoping to do that also this week. I have a feeling this week, well, Monday, so tomorrow, as I count this week, will be my makeup week where I make up some stuff that I kind of put off to the side and then record some new stuff. I think what I might do is start filming and recording videos ahead of time and then publishing them at a later date. Like I said, I've been busy with school. I still have to find time to write up content. I've been doing a little bit of that, and I have an idea kind of where I want these next few weeks to go and trend, but I have to kind of take that step and do it before I can share with you guys. So today, there's no main episode. There's no kind of like special segment, if you will. But we are at that time of year where we're heading into March Madness for men and women. We've already had the round of 64 happen. We're in the round of 32 right now. The round of 32 for men's, there were some games played yesterday. There will be some games played today. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about March Madness, what's all gone down so far. And today, I have this like little canvas. I have paintbrushes. I have water. I have paint. I'm gonna do a little painting while I talk to you guys about March Madness. Like I said, I wanted this to be kind of like a cozy vibe where it's pretty much chill and I can talk just all about March Madness, what's gone on, some upsets, what to look out for. The Sweet 16 for the men begin Thursday, I believe. Some of the games are being played in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know where the remainder of the Sweet 16 games are played. I know it's going to be at a different location than for some of the other regions, but we'll talk about it. I actually have no idea what I'm going to paint, so I'm going to find inspiration on the spot and let's do it. I've been wanting to do a painting thing on here for a while, but just never really kind of knew how to go about it. I know I just didn't want to be sit here for like 20 minutes and just paint and sit in silence. So now I have something to talk about at least, and we've made it through the first round fully. So that gives me something to talk about. I think I know what I want to do, but I don't know how well it's going to go. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. So let's see, March Madness right now. The round of 64, I know there's no more perfect brackets. I know that for a fact. I think a lot of people's brackets got busted within the first round, or actually it did get busted the first round. I think we saw a few of these upsets coming. I know the biggest upset so far at the moment right now is Kentucky, the 3 seed losing, but the history shows us throughout the last 3 years, I believe, that Kentucky has not either made it past the round of 64 or has been upsetted as a high seed. I was one of those people who picked Kentucky, so I did not do my research. I just had faith that they would maybe do better than what they did, and I had them in my final four. So there goes that team for me. That was not really a smart choice by Annabelle, but you never really know what to expect in March Madness. And I think that's the beauty of it. You get to see some of these teams pull off good upsets against some really great teams and have their Cinderella story. I know one Cinderella story I was really hoping for was Drake because I wanted to see an Iowa school do really well. I know they lost in the first round to Washington State, but I know they won the Missouri Valley Conference, and I just had hope that they would get to play another Iowa school in Iowa State in the second round. And if you couldn't tell, that's my favorite basketball team is Iowa State. I might go to UNI currently, but I've always grown up a big Cyclone fan. My dad went to Iowa State. My brother goes to Iowa State currently, and I'm even repping the Cyclones right now. Go Iowa State. Iowa State, let's talk about them for a second. I think the round of 64 was probably their best overall game so far. I know it's only been 2 rounds. They played yesterday against Washington State, and they looked a little rusty. Some of their starters looked a little rusty. I don't know if that's due to the fact that they were only had a day off to rest and then come back, but I feel like it was a much closer game than what it needed to be. That team yesterday didn't really look like the Final Four team that people were talking and making them out to be towards the end of the season. They did finish the regular season in a loss to Kansas State. Then they won the Big 12 tournament championship, which was cool to see. But I have faith that they're going to figure it out. I know they're going to be playing a good team in Illinois, and I feel bad for saying this, but I do have them losing in the Sweet 16 to Illinois. And my reason for that is they sometimes like to start off slowly. So they'll start the game at the beginning of tip-off, and then the opponent or the opposing team will make a really great run, and the Cyclones find themselves in a deficit very quickly. They don't start off hot and kind of maintain that, as we saw in the first round with South Dakota State, and then we saw it a little bit with Washington State. I know those are two good teams. They made they made the NCAA tournament, obviously, but I just can't vision and imagine Iowa State starting off slow and then coming back from that against, better teams like Illinois. And should they have to play UConn, which I think the only reason that they do play UConn is in the Elite Eight. I don't know who they would play in the Sweet 16. It would depend on who would win in the round of 32 and then so forth. But actually, I got that wrong. Iowa State is in the Sweet 16. So if Iowa State does beat Illinois, chances are more than likely they'll have to go face UConn. Obviously, we don't know if that's final yet. UConn could be upsetted. Illinois won, so I know that's who they are playing. At least I think Illinois won. I want to say Illinois did win. Yeah, so I believe if they beat Illinois, then they will have to go and play UConn in the Elite Eight, which UConn is the #1 team in the country right now. So they are very good and are not to be messed with about. So that's like the only reason. I'm not confident. I think Iowa State is a really, really good team. I just don't see them like, starting off slow and then coming back from that against a team like Illinois. I want the Cyclones to win though. They're really good. And obviously we have to represent the Big 12. And speaking of the Big 12, actually, there is a few teams that I was really surprised to see exit the first round. One of those teams being BYU. I knew that BYU could be a little bit inconsistent. They could be on and off. When they're on and their scoring is on and they're hitting their threes, they are almost unbeatable. But when they go on some, cold streaks, if the shots aren't falling down for them, then they kind of start to slip away. And we saw that in the round of 64. They were down for most of the game. I think it was a pretty big margin of, deficit, if I remember correctly, but they did manage to come back and make it a single digit loss. But I picked BYU to win too. BYU is still really good though. I don't think the one loss in the NCAA tournament shows that their season was bad or a failure. I think that they are a really good team. And for being newcomers in the Big 12 conference, one of the hardest conferences in the nation, they did really good. Texas Tech, though, was a team that I was surprised to see lose, and by double digits also. I feel like the states for Texas Tech were a lot higher for BYU, and they were 2 6 seeds who got upsetted. I believe that there was only 1 6 seed who won in the round of 64. I know BYU lost, Texas Tech lost. I forgot who the other 6 seed who lost was. I know I picked that 11 seed to win, and then there was another 6 seed who won, but it was a lot of 6-11 upsets. I can't remember if we got a 5-12 upset or not. I feel like we might have. Another big surprise in the round of 64 who lost, Auburn. I don't think anyone saw the Auburn loss coming. I think some people had an inkling about the Kentucky loss just because of their recent record in the NCAA tournament, but Kentucky was a team that I was not expecting to lose. And of course, I picked them also to win. But yeah, for Auburn, I don't know if we can call like their season a failure for being first round exits. for first round exits. Wow, I can't talk right now. It is very early in the morning, so excuse my morning voice and my inability to speak at the moment. But yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if people really saw the Auburn loss coming. And for Auburn fans, I feel ya. I know it sucks when any team loses in the first round. And I always feel bad for the seniors because I've, to me, the NCAA tournament is really a way to highlight the seniors and their years in college. And when you make the NCAA tournament and then you'd have a few extra games to play before your season ends and you go off in different directions with all of your teammates, you part ways with your coaches. And it's a bittersweet feeling. So I always feel for the seniors when they lose. I know it's really heartbreaking and having to say goodbye to a sport that you've been playing most of your life when you kind of know that you might not be playing at an even higher level in the professional level too. It is hard and it is bittersweet. So I always get emotional when I see the seniors tear up after their last game that they will play most likely. I think the theme for here, guys, for this painting is gonna be like garden-y theme, but with flowers. That's kind of what I'm drawing at the moment slash painting. And we'll see how it turns out. But for the round of 64, I can't think if there was any other upsets. All the 1 seeds won, so we didn't get any 116 upsets like we did a few years ago with Virginia. I think a team that people were really surprised to see win in the first round was Kansas. Again, Kansas is a good team, but they have been a little rusty their past month or so, I would say. I was gonna say a few games. I think Kansas has been looking a little rusty for the past month. They didn't they didn't do very well in the Big 12 tournament. They barely scratched away in the round of 64 on a controversial call against Samford that I saw, but they went on to lose to Gonzaga in the round of 32, and they lost by a big. They lost by quite a lot. It's kind of same with Texas Tech. But yeah, our Big 12 teams are not doing so well. But I don't know if we should be surprised or if we should be shocked about that. I know Texas made it past the first round, so good for Texas. Houston made it past the first round. They are the 1 seed in the South region, I believe. I want to say the South region. I think that's incorrect, but and then Iowa State made it past the first round also. Baylor made it past the first round too. And Baylor will play tomorrow. Same as Texas, and I believe Houston plays tomorrow as well. I'm trying to think, is there another team I'm forgetting who made it past the first round? I think TCU might have. I'm gonna see if we can Google that quickly. Hold on, guys. We're gonna see TCU Horned Frogs. Oh no, TCU did not make it past the first round. Gosh darn it. I thought they did. But no, so we still have 3 Big 12 teams remaining, I believe. No, 4. Houston, Iowa State, Baylor, Texas. So hopefully we'll get some more teams in the Sweet 16 along with Iowa State. My bracket, as I said, I picked Kentucky to go to the Final Four, which was a mistake. I also had Tennessee losing in the first round because I thought we would get like a major upset if the 15th seed beat the number 2 seed. That obviously backfired. I think I picked Arizona to lose. No, I'm pretty sure I picked Arizona to win the first round, but I had them losing kind of earlier than what I probably should have picked them. I probably should have picked them further than what I did, but we'll see how that goes. But no, my pick, my national championship pick is UConn. And I know that they're the number one seed and that they're the number one team in the nation. But I think they're playing really great ball right now. They're peaking at just the right time. And it'll be hard to stop them and go against their style of game and play. They're really good on both sides of the ball. I think their coach has done a tremendous job this year. Also, these flowers are looking good, at least in my opinion and in my eyes. This is chill, and I like this kind of too. Obviously, I like producing content and I like talking about certain areas and subjects, but this is also nice too, where I can sit back, relax, do some painting, something I love doing, and just talking, just random stuff. I'm trying to think. So my final four teams were Kentucky and UConn. I had North Carolina in my final four, and I I honestly forgot. I know there's Kentucky, Arizona. I don't know because I don't have Arizona. It's Kentucky, North Carolina, UConn, and I think it might be Marquette. I think. I don't know. I know I have two one seeds in Kentucky and UConn. I think Marquette maybe. And then I know I don't have Houston in my final four. It might be Marquette. That's not so bad that I forgot already. But we'll see. I have a feeling that none of my teams that I picked in the final four are gonna go to the final four. But that's okay. Let's see. Let's see if we can predict some upsets for today. I don't know. I honestly forgot who plays today already. I know Baylor plays, Houston plays, North Carolina, I think. Well, no, I think North Carolina played already. I think. I'll have to check. If I were to take a guess, for the Big 12 at least, it would not shock me if Texas loses in the second round, to be perfectly honest. I think Texas is good, but I think just like with Iowa State as well, they kind of started off a little bit slow and then they had to build their momentum from there. Do I want them to win? Yes, because they're in the Big 12, but I don't really see that happening, but I could be wrong. I think Baylor does win, though. I can't see them losing. But again, it depends if their shots are falling down for them and they're getting their players and their offense involved pretty quickly. I think Houston wins too. It would honestly really shock me if they lost. So I'm really focused on my flower right now. Let's see. What I don't think I really picked a Cinderella team in my bracket, but I have a few teams who I think could be a Cinderella team. One of those teams is uh I forgot. Oh gosh. Oh, I just had hit my mind. Oh, who did I pick? Think oh shoot. Oh, this sounds so bad. Again, hold on. I seriously was just imagining this team in my head right now, and then I totally blanked. And here I'm actually looking at it right now at the moment. North Carolina State. That's the team. North Carolina State is a team that beat Kentucky, and then they just won in the round of 32, so they're moving on to the Sweet 16. I have a feeling North Carolina State could be our Cinderella team. That's who I was hoping Drake would be, but since Drake's out, I think North Carolina State is not to be slept on at all. They are really good, as evident by beating Kentucky and then beating their opponent yesterday. Have a little bit outline of my flower here. Perforate it. Doing a variety of colors at the moment. Trying to make this a little colorful flower. Be like a garden. One of my favorite things about March Madness, like I said, I like watching teams make Cinderella runs, have their Cinderella story. I kind of like it when we get to see teams playing and fighting for spots in the Final Four and obviously the national championship. I think that's every team's ultimate goal at the end is to hold up the trophy and be the best in the country. But I also just love seeing the bonds between players and their coaches, and you can really tell who's which teams have great chemistry both on and off the court. Team chemistry is I I'm trying to think of how to word this correctly. I have you can always tell which teams truly respect one another by the way that they interact with their coaches and with each other, the way they interact with the bench and their fans. You can really tell which teams are like that. And then you can also kind of tell which teams don't really have the same relationship. And that's something that I really love about Iowa State is that you can just tell that they are really connected and really, a family together. The dynamic between the players on the court is truly evident of the bond that they have with each other off of the court. I think TJ Otzelberger, what he's done in 3 years at Iowa State is outstanding and remarkable. And I read somewhere that he's the first coach in program history to lead his team to two Sweet 16s. And he's done that all just in his third year here. So give him his flowers. He truly deserves it. And I'll admit, I was kind of shocked to read that at first. I thought for sure Fred Hoiberg had led a team to multiple Sweet 16s, but apparently he didn't. Did some more painting here. Sorry guys, I'm really focused for a second. Also, let me know. I know that's you can't really do it on Spotify, but if you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments who your final picks are for the Final Four or even for the national championship. Which teams are you rooting for? Which teams would you like to see win? I said that UConn was my pick to win the whole thing. I really do think that they have a solid chance at winning. I know that there's other teams who have great chances as well. I think Houston is obviously another front runner to win a national championship. Illinois is right there in the mix. Marquette is in there too. North Carolina, I would put in the conversation as well. I talked about this in another video where I did a video talking about if Iowa State was a Final Four team, and you can find that right here on YouTube. And my answer to that at the time, I think I filmed it a little over a month ago. My answer was yes, that they could be a Final Four team. I still believe that they very well could. Obviously, their region is very hard. They have Illinois, which I already mentioned is a really good team. If they were to beat Illinois, I do believe that they will have to face the number one overall seed in UConn in the Elite Eight. They would have to beat UConn to go to the Final Four, but anything anything is possible. I think Baylor might be a dark horse if they can continue kind of making a run and if they can find a way to beat these good teams and get the offense rolling right away. They could be a dark horse. I already said North Carolina. I see North Carolina State. Who knows? They're in the Sweet 16. If they were to beat their next opponent, they are in the Elite Eight. I mean, like I said, anything is possible this year. I do believe that this is the year that we're going to see the most upsets, and we're going to be really, really surprised on who wins the national championship. I'll let my flowers dry for a little bit. But I think we're going to end the video here. Thank you guys for listening. If you're listening on Spotify, you can hear the audio. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for sticking around, just listening to me talk about March Madness and watching me paint. I honestly just flowers. Feel like it was really cozy. It's just really relaxed and laid back. And I thought this would be like a kind of a good filler episode until I start, writing and filming and recording a little bit more frequently. But again, let me know in the comments, who are your picks to win the national championship? Who would you like to see in the Final Four? And do you have a semi decent looking bracket by now? I know a lot of people's brackets got busted, mine included, but I really don't care too much. I just like to watch the basketball and watch these teams play. I do have some ideas for some videos uploading soon. I've started writing some content for episode 8, and I think I can tell you the theme now. The theme is kind of media bias, what the media portrays and what we believe and what we see online. This is a concept and an idea that I've had kind of right away from the beginning when I first started, you know, working through the process of creating a podcast. That was one of the topics that I knew I kind of wanted to talk about and dive into. So that will be coming hopefully by Wednesday. We still have episode 6 to film and upload. I'm hoping to do that either later today if I find time or early next week. It's almost the end of March. Today is March 24th. So we literally have exactly a week left. And then suddenly we're in April, which is crazy. It feels like March has gone by really fast. I feel like it was just February, literally a day ago. And now it's March 24th. We only have one more week left of March. It doesn't feel like March though. I can tell you here, up here in Cedar Falls at UNI, it snowed on Friday and it just snowed overnight as well. So I'm looking outside my window and I literally see cars and their windshields just covered in snow. It it feels like Christmas when it's a week from Easter. Easter's a week away too. And instead of feeling like it's spring and we're like going on Easter egg hunts, we might be making snowmen and snow angels as in March. Sounds crazy to say, but again, nothing surprises me. So with that, guys, we're going to conclude. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Be sure to let me know in the comments who you have in your Final Four, who you have as your national champions. Are there teams that you think will be upsetted in future rounds for men and for women? I know I didn't really dive into the women too much. Maybe I can do that in another special segment or episode. Again, I'm looking to have a main episode, episode 8. I'm aiming for Wednesday. I'll have to film and upload episode 6. You can keep an eye out for that. I have all the written content out. I just need to record and upload. I have some special little segments planned in the next couple of weeks. I'll be doing a new segment called a Friday monologue, and I have a very, I think, interesting subject to talk about there that I'm really looking forward to. And then I think in 2 weeks, we're gonna find out who the national champions are for March Madness for both men and for women. That's like the second week of April. Then we're into the Masters already for golf. I know NBA stuff is still going on. We're nearing the first major of the PGA. Baseball will be starting up soon. We'll have to talk about that. We're only 3 months away from summer. The Summer Olympics are this summer. We'll have to talk about that also. So I think you guys are going to get some very exciting content soon. But once again, you are listening to the Ace for Waves podcast with your host, Annabelle. I'll see you guys on the next episode. And once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.